Hey, this is Miss D for Six Women's Sports. Welcome back to another late night edition of Miss D, Six Women's Sports. I want to get into some topics that has been kind of going on in women's basketball. As we know, the WNBA season ended last month, but the controversies continue. And I wanted to pull up something. Once again, we have a team that's having troubles with the organization and the players. First, the Aces. The last 2 years been bogged down with the lawsuits from Derek Hamby. Now we have I don't know who leaked this. So the Storm organization is investigating allegations of player mistreatment by the Storm coaching staff, according to reports. A source confirmed to Michael Vogel of ESPN on Saturday that the Storm had enlisted a law firm to examine claims of harassment and bullying concerning players' performance. The investigation follows a report by Chicago Sun-Times on Friday, which revealed the allegations. The coaching staff under scrutiny includes head coach Noelle Quinn, who has been at the helm since 2021, and her assistants Ebony Hoffman and Pokey Chapman, and Perry Hong. Hong, who has been with the Storm for 7 seasons, left the team last month to join the Los Angeles G League staff. The Storm 2024 season ended with a 25-15 record, marking a notable improvement from the 11-29 2023. However, the team's playoff run was cut short by the Aces. They got swept. So the Storm has undergone several changes in the years. They said, of course, Brianna Stewart left for New York. She's a champion now. And they added Nika Amugake and Skylar Diggins-Smith, joining the leading their high scorer in Drew Lloyd, who averaged 19 points per game. So it says, while the Storm improved on the court, allegations of harassment and bullying behind the scenes has cast a shadow over this process. The organization outcome of this investigation could have significant implications for the team moving forward. Lloyd and Skylar Diggins Smith is signed through 2025, while Omeke is set to enter free agency. I said a boom came, sorry. So looks like it's trouble. And it was said that NECA is a player rep. She's part of the players' organization. She's part of the Players Association. So she, according to some of the players, sided with the coaches on certain decisions. So the team kind of pushed her. Other teammates pushed her to the side when they had different meetings, and they never told her about certain things that was going on with the team. And Skylar has some issues. The reason why she came to the Storm is she had issues with the way that the Phoenix Mercury. So it seems like things follow her. She has haven't had good luck the last 2 or 3 years. She got into it with the longtime star of the Phoenix Mercury, Diana Taurasi. And when she became pregnant, she felt like the Mercury didn't acknowledge her. They wouldn't allow her to do certain things. They was kind of rushing her back. They didn't care about her pregnancy, which is what Derek Hamby is alleging that the Aces did. They kind of disrespected her, as she felt, about her pregnancy. So they traded her. And so Skylar Diggins went through the same thing. She had some issues, like I said, with the Mercury, where they was treating her. And so she left to go to the Storm. First, she visited the Sky. At the time, they had Aaliyah Copper. She left. The Sky had some problems with she didn't like the way they was set up, far as they didn't have a practice facility. So she decided to go on and sign with the Storm. So as rumor has it, she's been kind of verbally abusive to some of her teammates, Jewel Lloyd and NECA. Since she's the players' rep, they kind of been pushing her out of the loop of certain things that happen with the team. So it's just a kind of a mess right now. And it's a mess. And Skylar Diggins decided to respond, and she told them to quit lying. And she also said unfollowed NECA and Jewel Lloyd. So I don't know what's going on with that. That's not going to be very good. I think NECA might walk. I don't see her staying with the team, since she is the free agent. And Skylar and Jewel gonna have to work it out, because they are under contract unless one asks for a trade, which they might get a trade, because you don't want that drama when you bring in free agents. Free agents probably don't want to go there because they don't want to deal with that drama. And then you got the collective bargaining agreement, and right now you might have players to sign for 1 year, but they're not going to sign with all the drama. And so one of them had to go, or you might have to get rid of both of them. But she might have a bad reputation. I think she said it's uglier with Skylar Diggins Smith and Jewel Lloyd's latest activity. Let's see here. From being a number 4 pick in 2007 draft to the Minnesota Lynx and taking over a head coaching position, Noel Quinn certainly has a hold on the organization. However, it's alleged that the staff mistreated the players due to on-court performance. And one person on Twitter who was going to tell me that NECA and SES unfollowed Jewel and vice versa. The girls are really fighting. What the F? It says the franchise finds itself in trouble waters, according to Ann Constable of the Chicago Sun-Times, a law firm hired by the team. Alleged harassment and bullying related to on-court performance of the players. The incidents under the scandal, according to the same article, said to have happened during games and practices. While the exact parties involved issue is not known, it is said that the Storm staff played a major role in being harsh on the players. Ooh. So one of the assistants, Perry Hung, left on knowing that it might be some problems. So, but Skylar is a very emotional player. She wear her emotion on her sleeve, and this is her second team where some drama followed her. I don't think in Phoenix it was her fault. She got pregnant. They didn't treat her well. They never acknowledge, even when she's on the team, her birthdays or any of her personal accomplishments. So it was time for her to leave. But we all know that the team is basically centered around Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner. Diana Taurasi, we don't know if she retired or not retired. And of course, Brittany Griner getting older and her body's breaking down, so we don't know what's going on with that. But, she left under some controversy. She said in a press conference, in this league, if you aren't ready to play, you'll get beat up every effing night. They were ready to play, and we weren't, on both sides when they lost to the Mystics. So she's very emotional. Wow. So it says, towards the end of the season, even Lloyd's mother came to the fore to speak about Queens and cheer for their opponents. She said the allegations of mistreatment came out was rather surprising to Mama Lloyd. So she was surprised that things were going on. So we don't know exactly, but we kind of see the parties through how they act through social media. Well, NECA really didn't say much, but Skylar unfollowed Jewel and NECA, so that might be the main parties involved, and that's their star team, the star players on the team. The WNBA had their draft order, and Dallas won the number one position, and everybody assumes it's going to be Paige Bueckers. So the 2025 went the way of the Dallas Wings. So as suspected, it's going to be Paige Bueckers, UConn. Let's talk about that. Now, Paige Bueckers, last few years has been, haven't been healthy, but she looks pretty good. Her knees look pretty good this year so far. It's still early. She has some problems staying healthy, but they expected to draft Paige Bueckers from UConn. The problem with this, and I like Enrique, her problem is sharing the basketball. I really think that they both had to have the ball in their hands. She's a good passer, Paige Bueckers, and we're gonna see how this works. It seems like Enrique like to throw up a lot of shots. She's a volume shooter. When she's on, she's on. When she's not, she's not. And that's been one of the reasons, not just the injuries to the players on the wings, but her trusting of her teammates. Now, of course, you're going to trust Paige Bueckers. She's very talented, but I don't know how that's going to play together. Now, I know she wants to go to Dallas, but she might surprise me. The Sparks says Kiki Irfin, but I don't think so. I think the Sparks might not go with a big player. They might go with like Olivia Miles or Sonia Citron, but they have Kiki staying in the West Coast, staying in LA. But you already have Cameron Brink and Rickea Jackson. Their problem is having a true shooting guard and a true point. And I think Olivia Miles would be better in that spot if you're going to go with a guard. So, yeah. Or you can go Sonia Citron, which they said she's going to the Mystics from Notre Dame. Golden State Valkyries, the Valks, is Dominique Malagon from France. She's 19. Haven't seen much of her. I have to check her out. Mystics also gets the Atlanta pick. So Mystics have 2 picks in the top 10. And they're going to take another... they're going to take a guard, Sonia Citron. And they'll come back... Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're going to take a guard, and they come back with a forward. Asia Sivka for Slovenia, 18. So she's gonna be younger. Both of these other players are gonna be younger than most of the players coming out of the United States. Liberty via Phoenix. So I guess Phoenix might trade out and take Tahina Pow. But Tahina seems like she want to be West, but you know, at a certain point, you probably can't choose necessarily. You can, but Fever, Janiyah Barker forward. She's extremely athletic, which allows her to run the floor and versatile. So we don't know what's going to happen to Anessa Smith. Mitchell, you have some holes that might come in. Mitchell and Willer. Georgia Armour, she's kind of small. She's 5'6". So we'll see. I don't know why she's in the top 10. Some players I think should sneak up in the top 10, even if she might not shoot as well. She's not shooting well. Could go early to me is one of South Carolina, Bree Hall. Why not? Chicago Sky, AZ Fudd. Now, the problem with AZ Fudd is she's staying healthy and having a torn ACL and being injured a lot of these years. So that's what I'm concerned about. So that's the draft order now. But of course, Dallas is going to take Paige Bueckers. They got big girls. I'm just concerned with her playing Enrique and how they're going to match up with each other. That's my concern. Yes, WNBA rumors. Paige Bueckers preferred LA Wings before Wings won 2025 draft lottery. So I wonder, can she pull like an Eli? Like, look, I don't want to go here. Send me to LA. LA need some shooting guards. And I think Dallas can go another way. Dallas do need a shooting, but like I said, Enrique and her just jacking up shots sometimes. Sometimes she look good, sometimes she don't. So it says Spark would have been the preference of UConn star Paige Bueckers. So yeah, Paige is a name. Paige is a brand. Paige is already a brand. She's not quite Angel Reese, and she's not quite Caitlin Clark, but she's somewhere in a nice middle. She has a nice following. People know who she is. She's a stand-up person. And LA is a marketing capital, of course. Now, Dallas might not be. So, it says, playing in Los Angeles comes with obviously commercial advantage. A player as notable as Bueckers is going to have a big endorsement anywhere she goes, but it's simply a different ballgame to be in LA. The Sparks are a little more attractive than the Wings in basketball terms. Now, yes, the problem with the Sparks are sometimes the West Coast version of the Sky. They get in their own way. The management sometimes do things. You be like, what are they thinking? The problem with the Sparks, they had so much talent last year as far as the big girls. They had some injuries we can't bring. They still had Derek Hamby and Rikia Jackson. They didn't play their guards the way they should have. Who was that? Because I don't know. They didn't play her a lot. And I thought that team could have went to the playoffs, but they didn't. So I don't know what's going on with that. Paige everybody kept thinking it's the Sparks. I think the WNBA didn't want to do that for some reason. Well, looks like Dallas is gonna lose. A lot of injuries to Dallas, and this season's about over. So the NFC East, you still have, it's gonna be a shootout between the Eagles and the young Washington Commanders. Some of the top 25 play today. Ole Miss had a big win over their state rival. Well, I won't say rival, but in-state team, Jackson State. Oregon, okay. Oregon is playing pretty good. I'm very surprised with Oregon. And I'm very surprised with Deja Kelly. I thought her basketball career, as far as her getting back to form, was over. So Oregon is perfect. I didn't expect that. Flau'jae starting off hot. But we'll see. They really haven't played anybody yet. So Kentucky, 5-0. Okay. I kind of expect Kentucky. They're playing Troy. They beat them 98-59. So, late last week, Flora J. Johnson had her 1,000 points, and that's pretty good. That's not easy to get. So, congratulations to her. Flora J's average is 23 points. Let me see. Now, Flora J is eligible to come out. Of course, Anissa Morrow is is eligible right now. Okay, she had 23 points and 13 rebounds. So she finally woke up a little bit and getting her points out. She has to, you know what? Look. So you got Nisa Morrow, you have Bree Hall, you possibly have Raven Johnson, you have Samaya Fagan, and with the exception of Johnson, who could be eligible. They're playing tight in certain games. It's a lot of pressure. The way the draft order is now, it could shake up if certain players come out a little earlier. Like when Raven Johnson come out, if Flora J. Johnson come out, it could shake up the top 10. The Sonia Citrons, the Georgia Armours will be replaced. Because I think Bree is a little bit better on the defensive end, of course. So that was some of the games that was today. Clemson. Okay. So you have South. Okay, they're telling you who's up and down. Western Virginia went up 2. Duke went up 2. North Carolina went down 2. TCU went up 7. They really impressed me, and I'm very shocked at HBL. Haley Van Lith. I didn't think I'm like TCU, but it was a good fit. I always thought, to me, that she should not have left Louisville. I don't know why she left Louisville. I have no clue. Something went on. I don't know. But Louisville is down 7 points. Alabama down 7. Louisville is 2-2. But I just thought that it seemed like a good situation for her. And LSU was not for what they wanted her to play. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Can't wait to watch that. I want to see what's going to happen with the Seattle Storm situation. It might be a shakeup, because if all this drama, you don't want that to carry on. This team is not going to go anywhere if the players and the coaches are not trusting each other. So I don't know. And we'll see. Are they going to? I mean, what punishment would the WNBA give them? What punishment would you give that team for kind of that? What kind of violations did they have? Do they have like a clause in the WNBA towards they feel like they've been harassed? They say harassment. What kind of policy is that? So I don't know. They suspended Becky Hammond. They found something there with her and Derek Hammond as far as they felt her behavior. So are they going to suspend Noah Quinn? And are they going to fine them money and take away a draft pick if it's found that they was abusive to their players? So we'll see. So I want to talk about this topic before I get to anything else. Saturday's fight. You had Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Now, everybody's talking about Mike Tyson. Well, he's 58, and Jake Paul's 27. We all know that. We all know the actual fact. Oh, Jake Paul was being generous to him. He didn't want to punch him. Now, yes, I do agree. Jake Paul could hurt him. As you get older, Your body's not the same. But I also think, don't sleep. Mike Tyson still got them hands, so they was easy on each other. I don't know what kind of agreement they had, but Mike Tyson was itching to fight, to punch Jake Paul. He kept biting it. What I saw, that's another thing. But the ladies, I forgot the name. That was boxing. Was the better fight? It froze on me. Thanks Netflix. I saw the first 4 rounds, but after that, I turned it back on. I had to keep going out the app, turned the app on. I kept buffering. I turned it back on. It went all the rounds. The young lady had a deep gash in her eye. Like it probably had to give her sew it up. Netflix kept buffering. You knew this was going to happen, and I just can't believe you did that, Netflix. And I'm looking on Twitter. I was also on Twitter, and everybody was complaining. And some people had some kind of website they went to. Oh, ours is pretty good. I'm like, so? I'm like, oh, Netflix. Oh. And I usually don't watch it. I was excited to watch a fight because I'm not paying for no fights right now. Oh, he's older. Jake Paul can't hit him, or Mike Tyson can't hit him. Jake Paul got 40 million and Mike got 20. I guess he got 20 million not to punch him. That's good for him. Peyton Manning criticizes CeeDee Lamb at the Cowboys Monday Night Football burner versus the Texans. CeeDee been hot. CeeDee been hot the whole off season. He's saying subliminal things about the play of a Dak Prescott, but he got the money, and he had his family involved. I think his brother was involved, his mama was involved. I'm like, oh, poor Dak. Now, Dak can't stay healthy when he playing. Also, he just Dak, something missing. I don't know what to say, but I don't know. But I'm gonna read this. Despite all the optimism heading into the season, the Dallas Cowboys fall to 3-6 and has seen Dak Prescott go down with a season injury, and have heard calls to fire Mike McCarthy and replace him with names like Deion Sanders. I'm beginning to think it's not necessarily. I think Mike McCarthy is not a bad coach. The problem is Jerry Jones for the last almost 30 years, since the time that they won their last championship was January or February of 1996. Okay, Tupac was still alive. Okay, when they won, let's just put that in perspective. Tupac was still alive. That's crazy. Jerry cannot stay out the way. Jerry want to run everything. You got to let the coach. And the reason why the players don't respond, because they know the real boss or the person they answer to, even though he's not coaching, is Jerry. And you can bring Deion in all you want to, but is Jerry going to let Deion do Deion? Is he going to let Deion be Deion? And Jerry don't understand, how has that worked out for you to control every single thing that goes on with the Dallas Cowboys? You cannot control that. You have to. The best owners, just think about Robert Kraft. A lot of times he was hands off. That's what made them. He let his general manager and he let Bill Belichick do some things as far as general manager. They work together. A lot of times he stayed out of it. And that's why the America's team has been the Patriots. Well, maybe not the last 4 or 5 years, but prior to the last 6 years, they were. There was a dynasty. So it says, Peyton Manning criticized receiver on the Manning cast for his blunder in the first quarter. The error came from an interception thrown by Cooper Rush from a pass intended to Lamb. Though Manning broke down the play and pointed out that Lamb caused the mistake. You can check the replay and hear and note the reactions from Peyton Manning and Eli. Says while the Cowboys' problems are deeper than CeeDee Lamb's error against the Texans in Week 11, despite Manning's criticism, they will need Lamb to play to a standard if they want to slow their ski and perhaps salvage the season. I don't know about that. Because not only are they missing Dak Prescott, you're missing a lot on defense. So they probably can score, but they can't stop nobody. They played decent tonight, what I saw. One thing, like I said, Jerry Jones have to, if he wants to bring in a Deion Sanders, you have to let the coach. Look, the Lions has been a doormat for years. They haven't won a Super Bowl in the Super Bowl era. The last time the Lions won, it wasn't called the Super Bowl. It was in the 50s. So when this team is 9-1, you're gonna have some doubters. So Nick Wright comes out and says the Lions cannot win with a pedestrian quarterback. And I guess that's, of course, directed towards Jared Goff. Let me say this. I'm not saying the Lions defense are the Ravens defense of the early 2000s. But it's been proven that you can win with a so-called pedestrian. Now, Trent Dilfer was a journeyman. Okay, Jared Goff is better than that. Jared Goff numbers throughout the season is better than that. Jared Goff numbers is better than Joe Flacco. The year that they won the Super Bowl in 2013. He's better than him. So he's not a pedestrian quarterback. He's actually a quarterback that any team want as a starter. He was crushed. Yeah, I tell you, he was crushed when the Rams you can go by. Okay, we'll give you Jared Goff and we'll take your Matthew Stafford. And that hurt. Now, is he Matthew Stafford? Stafford doing the sideways and he can flick his arm strength. No, his arm strength is not Matthew Stafford. He doesn't do any plays like Matthew Stafford. He's Jared Goff, and that's good enough. We'll be okay. I like Jared Goff. Frustrate me sometimes. But when he's on, he's on. So just give him credit. I mean, I know the Lions haven't been doing anything, so it's easy to kind of I don't know about the Lions. Give them the credit. I have to admit, Dan Campbell was not a coach. I was like, we gotta get Dan Campbell. I didn't think of him like that. This is Miss D, 6-1 Sports. Peace.